Hello, everyone. Welcome to this exclusive video interview series as part of our ebook, The Broken Candidate Experience. Here's How to Fix It. Brought to you by ETHRWorld Southeast Asia in association with Paradox. I'm Yasmin Taj, editor, ETHRWorld International and head branded content for the Economic Times. As part of this exclusive ebook, we bring to you in-depth insights from leading talent leaders from across Southeast Asia, where they reveal some interesting narratives and learnings on how to win and retain the right talent by offering an authentic and positive candidate experience, which makes hiring easier, faster, and impactful. The last few tumultuous years have paradoxically changed the meaning of work, careers, and workforce. People want to feel related and connected to the organization they want to work with. They're looking for meaning and purpose. No longer do employers have the opportunity to cash in the immense talent available. It is a candidate-driven market where employees are the choosers. And the war for talent has only intensified. And this year has been no different. From inflation, recession, layoffs, and the cost of hiring, everything is added up to the challenges for CHROs and their recruitment teams. In this interview today, we will look at why HR and recruitment leaders need to take urgent action on their current candidate experience to attract the right talent. And to drive this conversation, I'm really excited to have with me Wendy Xia, who's Chief People Officer, Singapore and Malaysia Cluster at DB Schenker. With over 13 years of association with DB Schenker, Wendy leads the Human Resources Department before Singapore and Malaysia. Hi, Wendy. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi everyone.
Thank you, Wendy. Looking forward to some great insights on how organizations can work towards retaining better talent, hiring better talent, and also creating a very, very good candidate experience for the employees, Wendy. So the first question that I have for you for this interview is, according to you, what drives good candidate experience?
Okay, so thank you for inviting me today, and I'm happy to share what we are currently doing at DB Schenker. Personally, over the last couple of years, having gone through many interviews, I feel that respect and sincerity are the two most important elements when it comes to driving a good candidate experience. In the past, it used to be like streamlining application process, or having information made ready for candidates. However, with AI, automation, digitalization, I think all these are taken for granted already. So what really sets interviewers or hiring managers apart would be the sincerity when they communicate during the interview, how they hold themselves, the questions that they ask, as well as respect for the candidate's time. So at DB Schenker, we always share with the candidate that when they come for an interview, it's not just the company that is choosing the next talent to join us, but also at the same time for candidates to understand what our company stands for, what is our culture, and for them to make that conscious decision or rational decision on whether they want to join the Schenker family. So that's my take.
Thanks, Wendy. Very interesting insight, I must say. While we talk a lot about automation and HR technology, at the end of it, while you can automate all your processes, use all the technology, this is the human touch, I think, that according to you, that matters the most. How are you treating the people you're interviewing? What kind of respect are you showing to them? What integrity are you showing? Are you building trust with them in the very first step? I think that's very important for recruitment managers. So thanks for sharing this insight. It's very, very interesting. So Wendy, leaders have an opportunity to gain an edge in the battle for talent. They can deliver a superior recruitment experience to every candidate and even to those who don't receive an offer. So how are you delivering the white glove recruiting experience job seekers expect?
Okay, so over at Schenker, we do a series of assessment, personality, psychometric assessments for every applicant. So one way that we show our appreciation for the candidate's time, whether they are eventually hired or not hired, is to share with them the results. We believe that these results would help them better understand themselves, or it could be some useful information that they have but never had an opportunity to engage in such assessments. So these assessments are I would say not cheap, and we do it with reputable companies. So that's one way of us showing our appreciation for their time. And also during the interview process, right? So for us, it's for all manager and above positions, our CEO actually gets involved in the interview process, because the belief is that she stands for the company and what kind of culture she's building. So it's to let the candidates experience firsthand how is it like working with us. Different, I would say, departments, different, and depending on the seniority of the role, we also have different approaches. For example, when I hire for my team, right, besides having an interview with my managers and eventually myself, we do offer something what I call the coffee chat. So this is when the potential candidate or the shortlisted candidate, right, gets invited to a coffee session with my own team members. This is for them and my own team members to have a feel of each other, and whether there's that chemistry. Of course, I always encourage openness during that conversation. Like, how is it like working with Wendy? You know, what kind of leader she is. You know, she says she's a flat hierarchy, open door policy. Is that true? So they can ask whatever questions they want. I also know another leader in my company whereby she does active recruitment. She keeps, I would say, talents, okay? Maybe we don't hire the individual today, but she keeps them warm. She has that relationship continue after the interview, whether is it like sending, you know, seasonal greetings to the individual, or checking in on how the individual is progressing from time to time. And when we have a suitable position, right, these are the candidates that we will call at the first instance, yeah, to see whether they're interested in the opportunity.
Yeah.
So that's how we go about it.
I think these are very interesting practices, I must say, because a lot of time organizations just kind of inform them that, okay, you could not make it for this offer, and then they're done and dusted with. But the kind of relationship you're building with your potential candidates, they could be your, as you said, warm candidates for future roles. I think that's very interesting to know. That's how you build that experience for them. And as you said, connecting directly with the CEO of the company, that matters a lot to, you know, any individual today, where they can directly see what kind of transparency, hierarchy is there, what kind of culture they're building. Very, very interesting inputs, and directly sharing with them the results. I think that's how you build a culture where you tell your people around you and the potential talent as well as your current talent that we care for you in whichever way. I think that's interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Wendy. Also, today, you know, recruitment requires a lot of speed and efficiency. According to you, what are the current roadblocks which are hampering the speed and efficiency of a hiring process? While we have automated and we are using a lot of technology, what do you think can be the main roadblocks here?
On the top of my head, I would think that for higher level positions, there is always a lot of stakeholders involved. It includes very complex decision-making structures, which may result in delays, not just at the interview stage, but also at the offer stage, right? So this could potentially be a damper on the enthusiasm on the candidate's side. So all the more, there needs to be more on time, on demand kind of interaction with the candidates to keep them warm. At the same time, the company should always look at ways to further streamline all these decision-making processes. So like what I do, it's basically we reduce the number of decision makers for certain hires. We also carve aside a common time with all the stakeholders who are involved in that hiring of that position. Like we decide that, okay, every Monday, 9 to 10, you have to make the interviews your priority. You have to make the decision-making or the discussion of the candidate as your priority. So if we send out an invite, you have to make yourself present. Yeah, we are not going to start to, you know, manage everyone's calendars. P&O is not going to do that. So that's one thing that did internally. What other things affect the speed in hiring? I think that would be, yeah, what I've mentioned would be the main showstopper.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you. When decision making takes a halt, I think the overall experience goes for a toss because people on the other side are waiting. If you don't have an offer for them, they could go and apply somewhere else. I think that kind of, thought process that you could put behind your decision making. Well, if you want to take people on board, don't keep them waiting. Take care of your hiring process better by making decisions on quicker and faster. I think that can really kind of smoothen the entire process of your hiring. I think that's a great thought. Thanks for sharing that. Also, Wendy, we see a lot of the role of technology has really been, amplified in the past few years, especially in enhancing the speed and efficiency of the recruitment process, which overall adds to the candidate experience. So, have you employed technologies like AI and automation to improve the speed of your hiring process or enhance the experience offered to potential recruits?
I'll look at two ends. So one end would be internal processes, right? How do we speed up recruitment process? So of course, like all MNCs, we have our hiring portal, we have our ATS working at the back end. So what we have done is basically, because we do large volume hiring in our company, right? Every year we hire hundreds of people. So what we have done is to leverage on low-code, no-code development within P&O, things like Power Automate. And what we have done is we are churning out daily. So it's a 24-hour update to all hiring managers on the positions that they are hiring for. We keep them updated on how many CVs have we received, how many we have sieved out, how many we are shortlisting for them to review. We are also having information there, like which candidate has been interviewed and on what time, what day, what is the outcome. So it's like a very holistic overview of things. This is to speed up the internal turnaround on things, right? So of course, the effect of that is that the candidates will experience a shorter turnaround time on their side as well. Regarding onboarding process, right? We are currently exploring systems which can help us to better manage the onboarding, not just in terms of efficiency or speed, but also to enhance the experience, like having timed, video welcome to the new candidate, like 5 days before they onboard. The system should also help us have everything set up for the new hire on the first day of work, because you can have the best interview recruiting process, right? But if you fail on the first day, like the laptop is not ready, the person does not have a desk, it kind of erodes all the good stuff that you have done during the recruitment. So we are currently exploring, I would say, different options that are in the market.
Thanks, Wendy, for sharing that. I think while technology and automation can really fasten up the hiring process in terms of sifting through CVs, bringing together the right kind of CVs and, handing it over to the recruiting managers, the onboarding experience that you mentioned, I think that's the most interesting part, because pre-onboarding, how do you engage with your employees before they have been hired, or how do you engage with them post being hired? I think these are really interesting steps, in technology, as you said, can really enable recruitment managers to keep in touch, keep abreast with what's happening in their lives, and keep them connected to the organization even before they join. So thanks for sharing that. That's a great thought. Now time for the final question, Wendy. According to you, what are the potential damages that an inefficient recruitment process and slow hiring process can cause to the talent pipeline and business?
Well, I think operating in Singapore or even in Malaysia, right, there is, we don't have the luxury of time. A slow process, I mean, basically you are losing high quality candidates or potential hires in that whole stream of activities, right? Sometimes you have already invested time and effort in the first interview, yet because it takes very long before you get to the second interview, and then you lose the candidate. So that is actually cost in terms of time, in terms of efforts by the P&O team. So as much as possible, we try and pack all the activities as condensed as possible. Of course, when you have prolonged vacancies in the business, right, you impact team productivity. You have dissatisfaction among the existing employees who are probably tasked to take on additional responsibilities as additional roles due to the positions that are unfilled. So all in all, I think longer time to hire increases costs of recruitment. It is also a I would say something that we should that could possibly cause maybe motivation issues within the current team. Of course, then this will impact our services to the customer.
Thanks for sharing that, Wendy. I think while, the whole slowing down the hiring process can impact costs, and I think all organizations understand that, it's very interesting to find that while you are keeping your vacant positions on, you are impacting the motivation of employees who have been tasked to do more work. I think that's a very interesting insight. And that does eventually, impact productivity, eventually impact cost as well. So the whole hiring process, and the costs involved get directly or indirectly impacted if the decision-making process is slow, if you're not using the right kind of technology to, kind of condense the whole process into a shorter time frame. So hire faster, hire smarter, and then create experiences, not just for your onboard employees, but also for your potential hires, those you do not hire. I think it's very important to create that candidate experience so they stay on board with you and recognize you as an employer worth working for. I think that's going to be very, very important. So on that note, that was all the time we had for this interview. Thank you so much for your time, Wendy. It's very interesting to know how DB Schenker, and a large organization like yours, is focusing so deeply on creating a candidate experience, not just for your current hires, but also for people who might not be a part of your company, but are a warm talent pipeline for you. Since talent is so scarce, it's very important for organizations to focus on creating such kind of experiences to remain employers of choice. So thank you for your time. It was a pleasure hosting you today.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for watching this episode. Do stay tuned for more. Until then, take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.